Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. I just want to make a few comments concerning a recent event that has happened. And I think that it needs to be said. You know, in the course of your life, you're going to lose people of whom are very dear to you, or whom you have a lot of respect for, or whom you have a lot of admiration for. You may have even been friends with them at some point or another. But Islam, alhamdulillah, doesn't deal in emotions. Islam deals in what is apparent and what is from wisdom. So concerning the death of Louis Farrakhan's wife, some of you who may have been affiliated with the Nation of Islam and like that may feel some sense of loss. My thought on that in terms of her, and we only say what is apparent, and we only speak from what Allah has from his wisdom. But I am reminded of three types of women. I'm reminded of the imra'ah of Abu Lahab, the imra'ah of Fir'aun, and the imra'ah of Lut. That is the wife of Fir'aun, the wife of Abu Lahab, and the wife of Prophet Lut. So in these cases, you have three different types of women. You have a righteous woman, that is Asiya, who is the wife of Fir'aun. So you have a righteous woman who was married to a tyrannical man. Bad husband, righteous woman. And she made dua to Allah because she believed in Rabbi Musa wa Harun. She believed in the Lord of Musa and Harun. And she made dua to Allah. Oh Allah, save me from Fir'aun and his evil doings and build for me a place near you in the Jannah. That was her dua. So she believed in Allah. But because of the wicked, oppressive, extreme oppressive nature of Fir'aun, she was not able to manifest that belief openly. But she died as a mu'min, or as a believer. Then you have the wife of Abu Lahab, evil woman and an evil man. She practiced doing all types of things in league with her husband to harm Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the point where even she came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was a term that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made mention about her, and it was a true mentioning, but she became upset with it. She came with a very large boulder, and Abu Bakr was sitting with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they saw her coming, and he said, I fear she's going to do some harm to you. He said she will not be able to see me. Allah hid her vision, or he put a veil on her vision, so she was not able to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting right next to Abu Bakr. She said, where's Muhammad? Where's Muhammad? He said, why do you want to see Muhammad? He said, because he called me such and such a name. She was coming to bash his head in with this rock. Also, it is reported that she used to lay out with her husband thorns buried underneath the sand. So when the people came out for the Salat al-Fajr in the dark time, in the morning time, they couldn't see the roads and they'd be stepping on the thorns and things. She did lots of evil things. And Allah mentions about her that she would have a twisted palm leaf fiber around her neck in that hellfire with Abu Lahab. So you have an evil woman with an evil man. And then you have an evil woman with a righteous man. That is the wife of Lut. So when Lut, as you know, all of the people who were in his village, or many of them, the majority of them, they were homosexuals. This is something that was extremely strange, not heard of before in creation. And that's what Lut said to them. You do something that no one in the creation has preceded you. You take men to fulfill your desires other than women. So when Allah sent those two angels to give Lut the news that he was going to destroy the town, they told him that we're going to destroy the town, all of them, and Allah saved Lut, except for illa imra'atuhu, except for his wife, because she liked that kind of lifestyle. So you have an evil woman with a righteous man. So what does that mean? That means that the state of this woman, the wife of Louis Farrakhan, is unknown to us. What we see is only apparent, that she's with him and that she did those things, but we do not know necessarily from what is apparent what is in her heart in terms of belief. This does not mean that we say rahimahullah. We don't know her state, so we cannot just assume piety for her. Allah has forbidden us from doing that. But we cannot assume kufr for her because we don't know her state. This is the beauty of Islam. In Islam, what is apparent to us is known to us, and what is hidden from us, we leave that knowledge to Allah. This is why we say Allahu A'lam. We don't assume one or the other unless Allah has given us some text to say that the people who do this thing are the people in the fire. They will dwell therein forever. Those who do this and those who do that and those who say this and those who do that, these people will be in the hellfire forever. Khalidina fiha. They will be there forever and they will never come out. These are the people who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, all the believers will eventually leave the Jahannam, because there will be people who are believers, but they have sins and they have crimes that they never repented for. And they died while in that state where they didn't repent for the crime. So if Allah chooses to punish them out of his adala, out of his perfect sense of justice, then that is justified. And we have to understand something. There is no one in the hellfire, past, present, or in the future on Yom Qiyamah, except he will know exactly why he was there. He will understand the hujjah on him. He will understand Allah's justice on him. Allah will call all of his favors and his mercy upon him or her. And when they wind up in that fire, they will not feel that they have been done wrong. This is what Allah said. We did not wrong them at all. Allah, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said Allah will not wrong them even to the skin of a date. The skin. If you ever bite the date and you see that seed, that little film, you won't even be wrong to the skin of a date seed. Whatever you did that was good, you're gonna see that in your book. And whatever you did of evil, you're going to see that in your book. Nothing escapes Allah, large or small, big or bad, in any case. So the people in hellfire, they know exactly why they're there. So what does that mean for us? We don't say, may Allah have mercy upon her. We do not know her condition. We don't say she's in the hellfire unless someone else has some knowledge that this is what she was on with her husband. Then it will become clear. If the matter is made manifest and is made clear, that's what she was on by deeds, by statements, by actions, or by deeds and actions, then that's a manifestation of what was on her heart. In the a'mal bin niyyah, the actions are by the intention, and everybody is rewarded for what they intended. So if she died on kufr behind her husband, then may Allah give her what she deserves. And if she died showing outward signs of kufr for fear of not being able to manifest her belief that she had, that was actual real belief in Allah according to the sunnah, not just in word, in actions, but she was not able to manifest that due to the position of her husband or the influences of her husband or whatever. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Then we say about her that Allah knows best about her situation, and if Allah wants to forgive her, he will forgive her. If Allah wants to punish her, he will punish her. This is the position that we take for anybody, whether they are a celebrity, whether they are well known, whether they are an athlete, a movie star. It doesn't matter. Whatever is manifest, that's clear, and that coincides with what is in the Quran, that they are people who've done those actions, and it's clear from their actions that we have seen from them that they have not repented for those actions because they continue upon those actions. Then we can say it appears that these people who do these kinds of actions are from the people of the hellfire. If we don't know their affair, then we say Allah knows best. That's the best thing that we can do. You can't even say, may Allah have mercy upon them. See, this takes away the emotion. Well, you don't know what's in their heart. You're right, but that doesn't mean that we give an allowance to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, whether we know or not, because we don't know. We don't know. So, Michael Jackson, Allah knows best. Might be in the hellfire. Maybe Allah forgave him. Mother Teresa, all these guys. Anybody who died on manifest kufr and shirk, that's different. But people whose affair we're not clear about, we say Allahu A'lam. Their affairs with Allah. We don't say he's in the fire, she's in the fire, he's in the Jannah, she's in the Jannah. Rahimahullah, Rahimahullah. We don't know. We don't know. All we know is what we see on the surface. So we give them the husnul dhan, we give them the benefit of the doubt, we give them the good suspicion. Maybe they were upon khair, but we don't go so far as to make dua for them because we do not know their situation. We say their affair is with Allah. There are people on the day of judgment who are described by the scholars as they have died in between prophets. So from the time of one prophet to the time of the next prophet, they died in between. So that prophet lived and died, and in the space between that time of the time of that prophet dying and another prophet coming, they died in between that space. They are the people who are between prophets. So those people, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Allah will come to them in a form they recognize, and he will claim to be their Lord. And then from the events that happen beyond that transpire from that, will make it clear if they were alive in their prophet's time, they would have believed or they would have disbelieved. The matter will be made clear. But we leave that for Allah. We don't get emotional. We don't get emotional. Second thing, we know from history that sometimes the most oppressive of people and the most villainous of people and the harshest of people who were against the Muslims, Allah is muqallibul qulub. He can turn their heart and turn them toward Islam. Omar is a prime example of that. Omar, Khalid ibn Walid, two of the major oppressors of Muslims. Two of the major oppressors, Abu Sufyan al-Harbi, Abu Sufyan, the leader of Mecca at that time, guilty of lots of atrocities toward Muslims, but Allah turned their hearts. Allah turned their hearts to Islam. So we don't say ever that a person is doomed to go to the hellfire, because we have the well-known hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said what? None of you, there's not one of you except that he does the deeds of the people of Jannah, until there comes between him and Jannah the length of a handspan. He's this close to Jannah. Or in one narration, an arm span. He's this close to Jannah. And then what Allah has written for him overtakes him. He starts doing the deeds of the people of hellfire, and he dies doing that state. He dies in that state, meaning he didn't make Tawbah from that, and he increased in that. He died in that state, and he is in the hellfire. Likewise, there are some who do the deeds of the people of hellfire. Everything that this person has done is clear. This person is on the path to hellfire. He's gotten this close or this close. And then what Allah wrote for him in his qadr overtakes him. He starts to make tawbah. He starts to do the deeds of the people of Jannah. And he dies during that state. He didn't return back to that, to the ma'asiyah and the evil that he was doing and the shirk that he was doing. He rectified the situation with the people. He restored their rights to them. He did everything he was supposed to do that are from the actions of the people of Jannah. He died in that state. And Allah will give him Jannah because of that. So we don't say for people, even though it's hard for us to imagine, people like Wallace Muhammad calling to falsehood. People like Louis Farrakhan calling to falsehood. This man was with the Nation of Islam, said he believed for 2 years, talking about Islam and the Sunnah, then reverted back to that on a public platform, going back to the ways of the Nation of Islam. And he's still on that path right now. So he's doing the deeds of the people of hellfire, calling to that, allowing for that, not speaking up, not enjoining the good and forbidding the evil, but still on that same dogma that he was on, that his predecessor was on. Okay, but he's not dead yet. I know that's hard to believe, but he's not dead yet. Which means what? Allah is al-muqallibul qulub. Allah is the possessor and the turner of the hearts. Allah can turn his heart at the last minute. Remember the Jewish boy in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This is a Jewish boy. He loved Rasulullah. He believed in Rasulullah, but he was Jewish. His father's Jewish. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is at his deathbed telling him to say La ilaha illallah, because we know whosoever last words are La ilaha illallah, he will enter Jannah. He's telling the boy, say la ilaha illallah. He's dying. The boy's dying. He became very ill. Say la ilaha illallah. Say la ilaha illallah. Say la ilaha illallah. Say la ilaha illallah. The boy is confused. He loves Rasulullah, but he's dutiful to his father. He looked at his father and he said, what should I do? His father, the Jewish man, his father said, obey Abu Qasim. Obey Abu Qasim. He said, he told you to say la ilaha illallah, say la ilaha illallah. The boy said la ilaha illallah and he died. So it's never too late until the soul reaches the throat, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said. The tawbah will be accepted until the soul reaches the throat, meaning his death is imminent. The soul is this, he only has this space to go before it exits the body. At that point, there's no more tawbah. Farrakhan walking around upright with his faculties. Donald Trump, I know, I know that's hard to believe. Until this point, we don't know that he actually killed anybody, murdered anybody. He has some very despicable, unbelievably evil, wicked characteristics, but he's still alive. He's still alive. And just as Allah could change the heart of Umar ibn Khattab, who used to fight and kill Muslims, and change the heart of Khalid ibn Walid, who used to fight and kill Muslims, and change the heart of Abu Sufyan, who used to fight and kill Muslims. Just like that, Allah can change the heart of these individuals and individuals who are like them. But on the flip side, because Islam is balanced, don't be deceived by the good deeds of people and think that they are on the way to Jannah. What did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? Some of you do the deeds of the people of Jannah until he comes this close to the Jannah, and then what Allah wrote for him overtakes him. And he starts doing the deeds of the people of hellfire, and he dies in that state. So we do not assume piety or righteousness for anybody unless we have a manifest proof. That is the balance. Ikhwan wa akhawat, barakallahu feekum. That's the balance. What we know about them, we speak about. What we don't know about, we remain silent. That's with Allah. We don't know. We don't know. If he died like that, we don't know his affair. We were not there 24 hours a day. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We can't say, oh, Abu so-and-so, Imam so-and-so, mashallah, tabarakallah, they on the dawah, they calling the people, mashallah, Islam has flourished through these people. There's no way these people are not going to Jannah. We don't know that, because they're still alive. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the actions are by their ending. The actions are by their ending, not the beginning, the end. How did he die? What was he on when he died? The actions are by the ending. At the end of his life, what were his actions like? Did he start his life on Tawheed and Sunnah and Khair and Hasan, and then end his life on Kufr and Dalala and Shirk and Ma'asiyah? How did he end his life? Not how his life began. How did it end? Did he begin his life privileged, evil, nothing good to say, abusive, oppressive, and everything else that comes with that? That's the beginning of his life. And the majority of his life was like that until the end. Allah wrote Iman for this man or for this woman. How did they end? They ended on Tawheed. They ended with the kalima on their lips before they died. So let's not get emotional. We don't get emotional. There's no room for emotion and feelings in Islam. There is that which is zahir, and then that which is hidden from us. There is that which is apparent from us, and that is which is batin. It's hidden from us when we don't know. There are things that are from the ghaib. There are things we don't know. There are things that are unseen. There are things that such that their true reality is known only to Allah. It's better for you, Abdullah, concerning that situation, to remain quiet because you don't know what you're talking about. All you know is what you see. It's better for you, ya Amatullah, to keep your mouth closed because you don't know what you're talking about. You were not there every single day. You were not there every step of the way. You were not there at the time of their death. You were not there when they closed the door and went into their home and sat in their room in the dark of night, 2 a.m. in the morning. You don't know what they're doing. Keep your mouth closed because you don't know. We don't speak about things of which we have no knowledge of. We say, leave that for Allah. Leave that for Allah, because only Allah knows the reality of that. If she's good, alhamdulillah, we ask Allah to have mercy on her and to forgive her. And if she is evil, then we ask Allah to give her what she deserves. And this is adala. This is justice. That is justice. That is fair. You pray good for the people if there's good in them, and you ask Allah to punish them if there is bad and evil in them that they manifestly died on. If they died on that and that was their aqidah, that was their way, that was their manhaj, then Allah give them what they deserve. That's fair. That's fair. So, we love people to a degree, and we hate people to a degree. You've heard that expression before. Don't love someone so much because they may turn out to be your enemy one day. And don't hate a person so much that they may turn out to be your friend one day. Who would have known? Who would have known Umar ibn Khattab? Who would have known Umar to accept Islam? Islam grew muscles, man, when Umar came to Islam. A few years after that, Khalid ibn Walid, as-Sayfullah, the sword of Allah, the Sayf. When the people found out Khalid ibn Walid was the general, he's the one commanding the army on this particular ghazwa, we're done. We're not going to even show up. Y'all got it. The Muslims, the kuffar, they wouldn't fight. And one of the ghazwa, once they heard who was at the battle, at the head of the battle, Khalid ibn Walid, khalas, we done. There's no fighting. Who would have known? Islam got super pumped up with muscles when these people came. But in the beginning, they were some of the most oppressive people toward the Muslims. But Allah turns the heart as He wills. When Allah turned the heart, there's nothing you can do about it. This is why we say in the khutbah every Friday, مَن يَهْدِهِ اللَّهُ فَلَا مُضِلَّ لَهُ وَمَن يُضْلِلْ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. Whoever Allah guides, there's nobody who can misguide them. And whoever Allah guides, whoever Allah leads astray, you will not find a guide for them. If Allah didn't guide them, they're not going to be guided. If Allah guided them, you can't say anything that's going to rock their foundation. You may shake them up a little bit, but her foundation is thabit, is firm. They have istiqamah. Anything else in between that are from the matters that nobody knows except for Allah. So leave that. Leave that. And for people who still want to honor people who make kufr and shirk with Allah, this gives an indication you need to go back and look at the aspects of your iman. Iman is not what you know. It's what you truly believe. If Allah tells you that on that day, al-yawm al-akmaltu dinakum, that Allah perfected your religion, how can somebody come after that statement that Allah made and say, yeah, but we also do this too? What do you mean this too? What do you mean this too? We do this too. And we're going to add. How do you add to what is perfected unless you don't really believe that it's perfected? Because that's the only way. That's the only way that you could come and say we're going to add something to this thing that Allah said was perfected. Perfected. That means you don't really believe it was perfected, or even worse, you believe that somehow there's some khiyana, some treachery, some hidden information that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't give to the people, and now you know it. What do you know about a man who calls himself the Messiah? What do you know about a man? What do you know about a man? What do you know of good of a man who says that the ark, the Safina of Nuh, is allegorical, didn't really happen, symbolic? What do you say about people like that? What do you say about people who want to, say Subhanallah and Allahu, who 1,000 times? You will see a dream of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What do you say about, have you discovered something that Rasulullah didn't tell us? Be careful with your answer. Have you come with a perfected way that's even more perfect than the best of the human beings to ever walk the face of the planet? Be careful with your answer, because Allah is listening to what you say, every word. Have you introduced something into the religion that wasn't there at that time because the people, they didn't know about this, but we have this hidden knowledge? This is khiyana. Now you are accusing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam of kadhib, of lying intentionally. So, when it comes to these matters, it's best to keep quiet. We affirm in our heart what we know. We make dua that if there's good in them and khair in them, and they died on khair, if they died on khair, then we ask Allah to have mercy upon them. If they died on evil and kufr and dalala and misguidance, and we know this to be a fact, we still say, may Allah give them what they deserve, but we remain quiet about that. We don't speak about that, because this is not in our realm. We used to say, you know, you punching above your weight class. This is not your realm. This is not your area of expertise. This is why Allah said in the Quran, what? Do you know better or Allah? Do you know better or does Allah know better? On that day, Allah will tell you the truth of what you used to do. The real reason why you used to do what you did, why you said what you said, why you acted the way you acted. What's really in the heart. Allah will tell you that day what it was, what it really was about. When it comes down to evil people, I know it's very easy for us to hate evil people or people who do evil, but we cannot rule out the fact that these people are still alive and breathing, and they may come to Islam. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm telling you, this is how it can happen, because Allah can do anything. Allah can do whatever He wants. It could be you wake up the next morning and you hear Obama, Bush, Trump, and Nancy Pelosi, all of them accepted Islam. Come on now, that's a little bit too much now. It's not too much for Allah. He guided you, didn't He? You remember how you were. No, it's not too much for Allah. It could be. You could wake up and it will be like that. Maybe some Muslim, some single solitary Muslim woke up at 2 a.m. and made dua to Allah from the bottom of his heart, that Allah bless those people with hidayah and guide them to Islam. Maybe he made that dua a year ago, 20 months ago, 5 years ago, last night, and then it manifests. Now, what are you going to do with all that hate that you have for them there? Because you cannot doubt a person's Islam if they say they're a Muslim. If they say La ilaha illallah, and they've not done anything to the contrary of that, unlike certain people who are still alive, right? But they've not done anything contrary to that, you have to accept that statement. As long as there's no clear shirk and kufr from them, you have to accept that statement. Maybe they are an evil-doing Muslim, they are wrong-doing Muslim, they are sinful Muslim, but they Muslim and they say La ilaha illallah. You have to accept that. What are you going to do with all that hate that you have built up now? You gotta channel that somewhere else now, because you can't say, well, I don't believe it. If he said La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, you gotta believe him. You gotta believe him. He still might be doing crimes. He still might be doing wrong. He still might be a sinful individual who we are afraid that Allah will punish him if he dies in that state. But he's still Muslim. She's still Muslim. If they say the kalima, they Muslim. Now their affair, which is what we've been talking about, their affair after that is with Allah. That's it, you guys. So just wanted to kind of weigh in, because I know things like this, people get emotional. They start talking, out the side of their neck. They don't know what they're talking about. And then it becomes a whole kind of discussion, and it turns left and it just keeps going. And it really is no benefit to anybody. I say what I've said. I ask Allah for forgiveness for myself and for you. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. That's it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.